Cynthia Colon was a high school counselor with a dream to help more kids get into Ivy League schools. Today, she's on track to make over $1 million a month using the same system I use to generate $150 million in my own company. We helped her package her genius, scale with ads, and dominate her niche. Let's break it down so you can do it too. So first off and foremost, what we need to understand is that Cynthia's offer was amazing. I actually met her at ClickFunnels, and she was the sweetest little lady. That's the best way for me to put it. And she came up to me and said, yeah, Tanner, I made $600,000 last year. I said, really? Like, how'd you do it? She said, all off referrals. I said, wow, that's really good. Like, what's your offer? And she said, in short, she helps high school kids get into Ivy League schools. And I was like, wow, that is a really unique offer. And I said, why aren't you making more? And she told me her goal. She wanted to do $1.8 million. And I said, okay, well, show me your funnel and let's see what you got going on. Now, her funnel was absolutely horrendous. This was her funnel. It's embarrassing to say because the person she paid to help her do this, it was absolutely horrendous. So this is her funnel right here that I'm showing you guys on the screen, which it was, all right, be committed, get admitted. And it was like 7 steps to college admission. And then they'd fill this out. And then when this person filled this out, this is her old account in Kajabi, they would get this free book. And it would say, cool, like I sent it to your email, have a great time. Now, the thing that drove me absolutely nuts is there was nowhere to book a call. There was nowhere to actually generate sales. And I said to her, all you have to do is actually book a call and you will generate gobs of sales. Like, it actually really frustrated me because I couldn't actually believe that this was how her funnel was set up because it just wasn't set up very well. And if she had set it up correctly, I mean, instead of 600,000 or whatever, she would just be absolutely annihilating. And this funnel was not converting at all. It was making her $0. It was actually costing her money to pay the ad agency plus the money that it was costing her to run the ads. So it wasn't really working out well at all. So before we set up her funnel, I'm going to show you the funnel we set up for her in a second. We need to figure out her 3 pillars, okay? Top 3 reasons why someone is going to work with her. Okay, so her first pillar was more about what we're gonna focus on. Okay, so a lot of people will focus on what they call a passion project. Okay, and a passion project's great, but it doesn't really help set you apart when there's a lot of top applicants, right? And Ivy League schools are super competitive, okay? For anyone who doesn't know what Ivy League school is. So what she said instead is we'll do an intellectual project. And to put this in perspective, you guys can see on the screen, she says, last year Harvard had 54,000 applicants, 5% of the pool was actually admitted, and 1% is 540. So you have to be in the super high tier to get admitted to the school. And so her point was, look, I've been in admissions for 20 years. That was another thing that really made her successful with this. And I know exactly what that needs to look like, what your project needs to look like. So it's gonna be what she called an intellectual project versus a passion project. Now, the names don't really matter that much. You might go, well, what's an intellectual project? Like, it's probably something similar, but it's just what they're doing is different. And that makes all the difference when she's making this sell, okay? When she goes to pillar number 2, she called it the signature core for essay problem. And what she says, look, when most people do essays, they do this. This doesn't work very well. What I do is this is why it's better, and this is why it's different, okay? So again, she's trying to get them to understand why they want to work with her. And she's had a lot of success. Some of her clients is actually crazy. I don't want to name drop, but she has some very high level clients that are in the government, very successful entrepreneurs. Like, she actually has like a very rock solid business. So that was her second pillar. So now it's like, look, I'm going to help you come up with your intellectual project that's going to be better than most people's passion projects. I'm going to help you come up with your core essay pillars that's going to help you beat everyone else, because this is what everyone else says, this is what I do. So already you can see this is a really hot offer, especially because parents want their kids in college. They want them to be successful. They're willing to pay almost any amount to get them in there. So there's a lot of built-in urgency and scarcity in this offer without her really having to do anything. And then finally, she says the acceptance letter, like the letter you're going to send to the college. So she says most people go in, they're kind of naive and they're blind. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the Ivy success formula, and this is going to make sure that you actually get accepted into the college of your choosing. And again, guys, she's been in admissions for 20 years, so she really understands this process. So the first thing we did is we had to build out those 3 pillars, because when she began on sales calls, it was just kind of all over the place. It's not that she's not good at sales. She's very personable. She has the intangibles. Being personable, working really hard, smiling, she's really likable. She's super bubbly. All those things are great, but we had to make sure that when she's on the sales call, people understand why they have to go with her, because there's a million options out there. The other benefit she has is she's the only one marketing this. There's no one really in the industry right now marketing this, so she has that level of competition kind of knocked out of play. Now, once that actually was completed, we went ahead and built her funnel. So I'm gonna take you through her funnel that we're running right now, okay? And I'm actually gonna go through it live so you guys can see it. So the way this will work is I'll come in here and I'll say test. Okay, I'll put in a few fake numbers, and then you put in the graduation year, you submit, okay? And she's usually running these towards parents. Then this is her book a call, right? So immediately what I told her to do is said, look, if you just run a VSL and you actually set up a book a call, you will make gobs of cash. This right now, she has too many days open, but she's super busy. She's a one-woman show right now. She's doing about 150,000, 200,000 a month before we start scaling her to $1 million a month, which we will easily do. And you can see right here, she has these different times. I don't usually like it open more than 2 to 3 days, but it's fine for this example. So we'll come in here, say test, 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 cancel this call. Okay, so we'll come in here and I'll fill this out. You guys can see right here, like she has obviously, boom. And she closes at a super high clip. Now keep in mind, these deals are $30,000 to $40,000. I think her lowest one is 15. And then here's her thank you page. So we actually built this entire thing out for her. Now, the thing is, what you guys are gonna see in marketing over a long period of time is it's not always that the marketing is so much more amazing or, oh my gosh, look at this funnel. Like the funnel looks fine, right? And my team did this. But the benefit is her offer. Her offer is so good and so unique, and it has built-in urgency because these are high school kids. They have to do it now. There's no time to wait. Their parents really want them to get in. There's no redo-overs, so they're willing to spend a lot of money. These are Ivy League schools, so they're already really expensive schools. And so you take that with the good marketing, and you take it in a market where there isn't a lot of marketing going on, and she absolutely destroyed. I mean, she's still crushing right now, and so she's doing, what, $150,000 a month minimum off $6,000 of ad spend. Imagine when we get to $100,000 and $200,000 ad spend, it'll be doing well in excess over $1 million. I'm very confident in this offer because of how good the offer is. It's just one of the best offers I've ever seen. So that takes us into her ads, right? Because you guys saw the funnel, but then we're running her ads. Now, I don't have access to her ads account. One of my media buyers does, but while I'm shooting this video, I'll show you some of her numbers. So in March, she spent $2,600, no sales, okay? And is the very end of March, right? So you guys can see here, we spent a couple $100, wasn't much. Okay, we get to April. I want you guys to start seeing how crazy this gets. She spent $6,000 and made $85,000. Okay, then we went to May. She spends $7,000 and she made $143,000. Okay, now we're in June, and right now it's June 19th as I'm shooting this video, and she has done $110,000 off $5,000. It's like you don't see these returns anywhere. And if you guys look at the rest of her numbers, she doesn't have a setter, right? She is still pretty new to sales, so her sales percentage closing is only 20%. Like, there's just so much more room for improvement. So once we come in, after we've already set this up, we come in, we start building her team. We get her a setter, we get her a closer, we get her people who can DM on her team. Like, there's so many things we can do. I believe this business will absolutely get $2 million a month. I don't say that very often, but just to give you guys context, if I was doing $150,000 a month, I'd probably have to spend about $30,000 to $40,000 on ads. So this is far and away a better process, and she has so much room to actually scale. Now, in terms of her scaling, what she's gonna have to do is start building the team. So let me take you through that process, what that could look like. So I like LinkedIn the best. There's a lot of places you could hire, but I like LinkedIn the best. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna pull LinkedIn up. And what we do is we pay LinkedIn for 5 job posts. I think it costs us, about $800 a month. So it's about, 100 something per job post. And you can see here, we'll put appointment setter, closer, appointment setter. Like right now we're looking for a lot of appointment setters and closers, okay? So when I click on this, then what you'll see when someone clicks on this is what they'll see, but we're gonna wanna see the type form, okay? And we're gonna wanna set up a type form that qualifies a prospect. So when you're hiring a team, the goal is to find someone who has the right mindset, so they're very similar to you. So for me, I like to work hard. I like to grow businesses. I like to push myself. I like to do these things. It wouldn't make sense to hire someone to come onto my team who does not have the same mindset. So that's number one. Then number two is to make sure they have the skill set, because if you're trying to grow a business and you're just hiring off potential, like, yeah, like I work really hard, but I've never done sales before, and you're hiring a salesperson, or yeah, I've never done client fulfillment before. So like, who's gonna need to be the client fulfillment for her team? It's gonna need to be someone who's worked in admissions. The cool news for her is most people in admissions don't get paid very well. So they could come into her business, work from home, probably get paid more, and it'll be easier. So it's a win-win. But here, let's say we're doing an appointment setter. So first thing we do is we have a page with the pay, etc. This is actually one of our clients because we recruit for some of our clients. Then you come in here and you'll go through the type form. I'll just show you guys some of the questions. So it's like name, email, are you willing to work, X amount of hours a week? Do you have experience doing this? Describe your experience, right? And then we'll give them examples to go through. And then based on the examples, we actually know if they're already good. So think of it this way. The best way to hire someone is to hire them. So what we'll do is we will actually test them out on the applications on the skill that we want in our business, and we can already see if they're good or not. So here we'll say, hey, look at these examples, okay? Here's some examples, here's some examples. Okay, now it's your turn. What would you say to this? And so when they're done, we can already tell before the interview if they're good enough to do the job. If you're not able to do something on an application, then what you should do is a stress test before you hire. So if I hire a media buyer, I will send them over a video and a Loom with exactly what I want and then see what they come up with. Because if you can just tell someone, hey, what would you say to this? Or how would you do that? You're seeing how they think, and that's what you're hiring people for. If you hire someone and you have to tell them every single thing to do, it's not actually helping your business. So this is gonna be the next step for her in her business to help her get to $1 million a month. Is we're actually gonna go through and build out her team. And there's a million places you could hire, but what I like to do is go on LinkedIn, I have a type form, and then based on the type form, so let's get to the end, based on the type form, we can already see if we want to work with them, right? Or if they're good enough, right? And then after this, we'll set up an interview. Now, just so you guys know how the interviews run, because I want you guys to understand how the interviews run, this is my interview formula right here, as you guys can see on the screen, okay? So what I'll do is I'll start by saying, all right, so here's what we do and here's our values, okay? If you come into my business, you know, I work really hard. I want someone with that same mindset. You'll do anything to win. You'll work really hard. You take pride in doing a good job, okay? If I was to show my team values, I'll actually pull those up. These are my 3 values. Competitive greatness, so being your best when your best is needed. Be your word, do what you say you'll do, right? And then the job's done when it's done, not before. Then number 2, I'll say, here's what the role is and here's the problem it'll solve. So say, look, so we're gonna wake up every day, we have a team call at 9 a.m. Then throughout the day, you're gonna have, you know, let's say it's an appointment center, you're gonna have a 6-hour shift. During the week, you'll have, you know, 6-hour shifts. You'll either be, you know, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. or you'll be 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. You walk them through an actual day. Then what I'll say is, you know, what experience do you have? Now, I don't say what experience you have. That's not a great way to say it. What I say is, what jobs have you had? And then what did a typical day look like? Why? Because if you say what experience do you have, they're just going to say the things they would think you want them to say. But if you say, what jobs did you do in the past? And what did you do? You're going to get a lot different answers. And that's kind of why I asked that question. For culture, I'll just say, what does success look like to you? Like, in your opinion, like what makes you, you know, feel good and like makes you feel valued at a company? I want to kind of see how they think, so on and so forth. Then I'll give them a stress test, which, you know, I just kind of gave them on the application, as you guys just saw, but this is where I'll say, cool, what would you say to these questions? Or what would you do in this scenario? I want to kind of see how they think. Then I want to make sure their goals align with the company. Now, I'll say to people, look, I don't expect you to say you're going to work for me forever, but like, what are your goals? Like, where do you want to get to? How much do you want to make? Stuff like that. Then I'll say, how much would you like to make? And the cool thing is, if they say a high number, I need to bring them back down. If they say a lower number, then I can either give them a bonus or, you know, like they're going to be very happy with what you're going to give them. Then define what work from home means. I'll say, what does it mean to you to work from home? I'm looking for, I'm working, I'm just from my house. Like, working from home doesn't mean you do whatever you want, whenever you want. It means you're working from home. Pretty simple. And then finally, the CEO should do the final interview. So if you're not doing the initial interview, then you should do the final interview. One of the biggest mistakes I made in my business is, as I was growing the business, is I hired people. I let my team start hiring people without getting my oversight or my approval. And I really regretted that later on. You want to make sure your team, your business is only as good as your team. So if you start just hiring people on your team and you don't put a lot of thought and effort into it, or you're not at least checking what your team is doing, it's going to really end up backfiring for you. So this is kind of the next steps we're going to be doing for Cynthia. I think she's going to absolutely crush it. I mean, she's already crushing it. She's getting, what, 15x return on her ads. But to get her $1 million a month, we're going to have to spend probably around 100 to 200K max. Because as you spend more on ads, sometimes ads are not as effective. But with her, I think it's going to be an absolute cinch because of everything you've seen. So this is how Cynthia is going to scale to $1 million a month. But if you want to see my exact process on how I scale to over $25 million a year, you can click here.